If you've got money to invest, but you also have debt, you're stuck in one of the most common financial dilemmas that people find themselves in today. Should you invest and try to grow your money, or pay off debt and get free? Because depending on which you choose, this decision could cost or make you tens of thousands of dollars over time. Let's walk through exactly how to think about this step by step so that you can make the right decision for you and your situation. Hey everyone, I'm Faustino and I'm a financial planner, and I work with individuals and families who are trying to align their finances with both wise strategy and long-term purpose. And this question, invest versus pay off debt, is one that I walk through with clients all the time. The truth is that there is a mathematical and economic answer, but there's also a behavioral and even a spiritual component that truthfully most people overlook. So we're going to cover all three together. Let's start with the numbers. See, at a basic level, this decision comes down to one single question. Is your money likely to earn more investing than it costs you in interest on your debt? See, historically, the United States stock market, measured by something like the S&P 500, has returned around 10% annually before inflation, and about 7% after you factor in inflation over the long term. So, if your debt interest rate is 3 to 4%, say like a home mortgage, for example, and your investments might earn 7 to 10% year over year over time, well then mathematically investing should come out ahead. For example, $10,000 invested at a 7% return for 20 years is about $38,700. But that same $10,000 used to pay off a 3% loan saves you less than that in interest over time. So purely on paper, as a generalization, low interest debt means you can invest. But here's the flip side. If your debt is, let's say you've got credit card debt at 18 to 30% annual interest, or personal loans, which might be 10 to 15 or higher percent, then there's no investment that is going to reliably and safely beat that year over year. So paying off a 20% credit card is like earning a guaranteed 20% return on your money. It's unbeatable in some sense. So mathematically, and again, as a generalization, high interest debt, pay it off first. As a general quick rule of thumb, if you have something under 5% interest, lean towards investing. 5 to 8% is sort of that middle gray area, but over 8% would recommend aggressively paying down that debt. But if the decision were only math, then the decision would be easy and everyone would make it. But the truth is that it's not. Here's where many people get tripped up. Even if investing should win mathematically, most people don't behave in a way that actually captures those investment returns. According to Dalbar studies, which track investor behavior, the average investor significantly underperforms the market, often by several percentage points per year. And this is really because of things like panic selling, people trying to time the market, and lack of consistency around putting money into the market. So while the market might return 8 to 10%, the average investor may only experience a 4 to 5 or maybe 6% return. And then compare that against interest rate on a debt, which might be a guaranteed 6%. Suddenly the math isn't so clear anymore. Another behavioral factor is peace of mind. See, debt carries a psychological weight. Studies from the American Psychological Association have consistently year over year shown that financial stress is one of the top sources of anxiety for Americans. And in that, debt is a major contributor. So even if investing might win slightly on paper, paying off things like debt can reduce stress, improve cash flow, and they can simplify your life. That often leads to better long-term financial behavior and decisions. So here's the reality. People with no debt, they tend to do things like save more consistently, invest more confidently, and take fewer financial shortcuts. So sometimes the best mathematical plan isn't the best mathematical plan, but it's the one you'll actually stick to. So here's the framework that I use with clients frequently. Step 1. Eliminate toxic debt. Those are credit cards, high interest personal loans. Really, as a rule of thumb, anything above 8% should be a final and a primary focus. No investing really is going to beat that as a recommendation. Step 2 is to build a baseline safety net. This would be 3 to 6 months of your basic living expenses in cash. Why 3 to 6 months? Well, because without this, any emergency sends you back into debt, leaning back on those credit cards. Step 3 would be to capture your employer match if it's available to you. See, if you have something like a 401k at work, and if your employer offers a match, a 100% dollar for dollar match is an instant doubling of your money. It's a guaranteed 100% return. Is a rule of thumb, if you can, always take that if you can. Step 4 then is to decide how to handle that mid-interest debt, that 5 to 8% range. This is where it becomes personal and based on your values. See, you can split your approach, you can invest some and pay down some, or you can lean one direction based on your priorities, your goals, and your specific situation. Step 5 then would be to tackle low interest debt like mortgages. See, at this stage, when you're really working on reducing that debt, you should be investing consistently, building wealth, and letting time and your money work for you. See, many financially successful people can continue to carry low interest debt even while they're investing heavily, and as long as they're investing consistently. Another important note here, this is not an all or nothing decision. So you don't have to choose wholeheartedly between either 100% investing or 100% debt payoff. But instead, a lot of people benefit from finding themselves in a balanced approach. For example, I don't know your financial situation. Your income may lend itself towards 70% excess income investing and maybe 30% going towards reducing your debt payments. I also want to briefly touch on something that doesn't get talked about enough in my opinion. For many people, this isn't just a mathematical decision, but it's a values one. See, debt in many ways represents obligation and oppression. And while it's not inherently wrong necessarily, it does limit flexibility, create dependence, and add a lot of pressure. There's a sense of freedom and even peace that comes with being debt-free. And at the same time, we're all called to be wise stewards of what we've been given. So the question then in your life should become, what decision helps you be both wise and financially at peace? See, for some people, that's maybe maximizing growth. For others, it's focusing on eliminating debt as quickly and swiftly as possible. Neither is automatically wrong, but the right answer is the one that you can consistently live with and adhere to on an ongoing basis. So if you are trying to decide whether to invest today or to pay off debt, here's a simple takeaway. And again, sort of a rule of thumb. High interest debt, pay it off. Low interest debt, invest. In the middle ground, build a plan that you'll actually stick to. And don't ignore the behavioral and emotional side, because that's what will ultimately determine your results, is that consistency, that dedication to the plan. So if you're in this situation, you want help thinking through your specific numbers, your income, your debt, your goals, there's a link in the video description below. Let's schedule a conversation. Let's talk some more. No pressure, just a chance to get clarity around what may make the most sense for you and your family or you and your life. Also, if you found this video today helpful, I've got more videos planned on making wise financial decisions, all geared towards helping you to reach your financial goals. Please hit that like and subscribe button for more content and stay tuned.